Hey, this is John from Yellow Brick Card Club.
And this is Pierce from Pierce Breaks.
You can find us on Instagram at Yellow Brick Card Club. Get all of our links there. Come and join the Discord, check out some breaks, and chat and hang out.
You can also find me at Pierce Breaks on Instagram, on my YouTube channel, Pierce Breaks, or on Reddit at reddit.com/r/Pierce Breaks.
Hey everybody, Kingdom 11 here from Yellow Brick Card Club, and I'm here with Pierce. Pierce, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I am well. I'm enjoying this. Our second go round, and after, 20 minutes the last round, I kind of forgot we were even recording. It was more like just having a chat.
Definitely.
We're going to kick it off this time, I think, with some card-related activity. And Pierce, I'd love to ask you what you have something cool going on right now with a break fundraiser for Florida and related states impacted by both hurricanes. So you want to talk about that? Because I think that's pretty much the awesomest thing.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah. We've been doing this for a while, and there's a few people that have been taking part in my breaks and your breaks, for a long time. And just kind of the past few weeks have been following along with them, being down in Florida, being kind of in the thick of it. And so I was thinking about doing something, and another guy actually messaged me the other day and was like, what do you think about doing something to kind of support these guys? And I was just like, yes, 100%. I want to do that. So I'm doing a break where all the profits are going to go to a couple of the guys so far. I mean, I'm open, to anyone that we know that is affected or has family affected, whatever we can make extra to help them out. I would love to do that. And then also doing a little raffle on the side that has some cool prizes. And that's just like $5 tickets. And, however, all the tickets are just straight profit. So that'll just go, all that money will go directly to the people that are affected. So we have a Stadium Club compact hobby box. I'm doing a $50 quote unquote eBay gift card where I'll just find something cool, like whatever you want. If you want to get a specific card or you want to like tell me a player and I'll find something cool, whatever it is. I just always like doing stuff like that. And then Riggy, another breaker, donated a Logo Fractor box as a raffle prize, which was awesome. And then the last one is just a break spot in the break, which is just a mixer of Chrome, Logo Fractor, and something else that is 2023 Chrome update. So yeah, just the least that I can do to help people out that are going through crazy stuff right now.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I know we've reached out to a couple as well, hooking them up with some hobby-related stuff to maybe give them some brain relief from real world stuff.
For sure.
And I think we're saving our chatter about our breaking philosophy and all that for a future episode. But I think it does feel appropriate now to just mention, like, how cool is it that we can, one, recognize that sometimes the hobby is a cool escape. Nothing wrong with that. But two, we can depart from hobby all the time and kind of get after it. I kind of, for better or worse, basically called my pirate ship account and just double checked addresses to see if I missed anybody that I'd forgotten or hadn't shipped to yet or something like that, or hadn't shipped for a long time. And then I messaged one of them and mentioned that, and the way I'd phrased it sounded a little stalkery, like, open out your house and noticed it was right here. But I think they hopefully understood it was coming from the right place. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Kudos to you. I think we should all be doing something like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and so many people in the group have like, tipped me or just like given me extra things or whatever, that it's like it's literally the least that I can do to give back. I mean, that's like, to get into it a little bit with breaking in general, like the biggest and best unintended side effect of me starting this is like finding all of these awesome people in the hobby, and like just, the full spectrum of people across the country. And it's just like they're all coming together just to appreciate baseball and baseball cards and just doing awesome things for each other. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
really, really cool to see and be a part of.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with you 110%. I guess we're just gonna just dabble in the breaking philosophy because I can't help
Yeah.
myself. But
Yeah.
that is something I've thought of on, and I'm not gonna like say too much about platforms I'm not a fan of, but there's plenty of the corners of the hobby that are just of zero interest to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's chase and it's money and it's nothing but those two things. No personal stuff. Like, I mean, how many, and I guess at this point, hobby friends would be the terminology. And I haven't met many of them in real life, a couple of them, but
Yeah.
just way cooler to me than, watching a corner salesman hawk product and whatever. So, um, it makes the whole thing just way more fun.
100%.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. We were going to touch on some new releases, which we did a little bit of last time, but Logo Fractor, which I know is very popular and just, I guess, redropped, yesterday? Is that right? 2 days ago?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess using the sliding scale of all prices going up on everything, including cards, box cost was somehow not as crazy as I thought it would be, mostly because I didn't think it was going to be available on the primary market again. But
Yeah. Right.
the cards look awesome. I know Wax Moronic with us, the Yellow Brick Card Club, he broke some a few days ago. They're just absolutely beautiful. Have you? What's your relationship to Logo Fractor? I guess would be where we start.
Yeah, my relationship is pretty non-existent with Logo Fractor. I'm fairly new to the hobby, like literally the past calendar year has pretty much been like me diving headfirst into it. So I wasn't super familiar with it to begin with. And then just looking at it, it's not my favorite. Like, obviously, the parallels and stuff are really cool. Like, that's one of the best parts about Chrome. But I just don't see the appeal of the Logo Fractor over the regular Chrome. Obviously,
Gotcha.
it's more, I think the checklist is a little more streamlined, and it's more affordable than Chrome, of course. But yeah, just personally, I'm not super jazzed about it. But that's not to say that, everybody has different tastes. So
Yeah.
uh, I'm not planning on breaking any of it, but except for the mixer that we're doing. But you know, it seems cool, and I'm glad that other people can appreciate it, and also, especially kind of like you said, that other people can get their hands on it. That it's not like, even today, I think they still have boxes and cases available on the website, so
Yep.
it's not like some of their other products that kind of like drop in this online release and then prices go up 200-300%, and you're just like, what? Why is this happening?
Yeah. I probably in large part because of the release timing, but Logo Fractor was talked this year in close proximity to Sapphire,
Mm-hmm.
and Sapphire is pretty much my favorite card that's currently produced.
Mm,
But that's for me like straight singles only. I just like the checklist is crazy, the price is
yeah.
crazy. Breaking it is problematic. There's just but the card itself, ignoring those other factors, is just amazing. But the difference, of
Yeah,
course, is that Logo Fractor is, I don't know, a quarter of the cost or something. Um,
exactly.
And yeah, those, if I'm paying, or any of us are paying 10 $15 $20 per unknown card and unopened products, it's just like, what are we doing? And I'm talking about Sapphire
Yeah.
with that, but yeah, so I'm almost like willing myself to like Logo Fractor even more, and I like it, but it's almost like maybe it's a diversion from Sapphire, because I've never opened Sapphire personally. I've never broken it, and not sure I will. Maybe, I don't know. Never say never. But
Yeah.
Logo Fractal looks pretty sweet, especially in proper lighting. Like, it really pops in proper lighting.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Well, it's a tough thing to balance, like when it's really fun to like build out a mixer when you can't afford to put those like higher cost boxes in with some lower cost stuff to kind of offset it. I know that we kind of have similar philosophies of our goal is to keep our costs down as much as we can for the people that are buying into our breaks. And I definitely do some more bigger, like I do more cases than you guys do typically, but still the ultimate goal is to be as cost effective as possible. And so mixers are a good way to get some of those things in there. But right now there's just like so many releases are coming out. It's like there's no lag time between each release where you have time to put something fun together.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like hopefully winter will be a good time for mixers.
Yeah.
Although when I look at our sort of my mental calendar and the three of our sort of, sketched up calendar, winter really means January with everything else we've got going on. And then, series 1 is mid-February. So
exactly,
it's a short winter in that regard, which is awesome. Like I don't want to stop. Like for me, it's baseball only. So I have no interest in pivoting to basketball or football or anything. So but yeah, those mixers I think for winter time could be successful. Did you see Wax Moronics Luis Castillo Logo Fractor Rainbow picture?
I did, yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
For sure.
The rainbow in particular in Logo Fractor form is pretty sweet.
Yeah, definitely. Big fan. I personally, just it's a tough cost investment when you have like 20 something parallels that you have to go for. Yes. So it's nice. I assume, I haven't looked, I assume Logo Fractor is a lot less than that, just based on his photo was only like 10 or something.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not sure the full rainbow or not. But yeah, there are fewer parallels in Logo Fractor by itself for sure.
Yeah. Looks nice together.
Yes.
And yeah, speaking of schedules, I was doing that today, like just thinking out, because next week is update.
Yep.
And then the week after that is kind of free. So it's just, I'll do like the hurricane relief break that week. And then the week after that, Alan Ginter comes out, but I'm out of town Wednesday to Saturday. So I'm like, I already ordered the Alan and Ginter. So I have to figure out when I'm breaking that. And then the week after that is Stadium Club. And then we know that Archives is coming and Chrome Update is coming. So it's just like, packed already all the way to December pretty much.
Yep. And then, November, December, of course, best time of the year. Top Holiday and Bowen Draft.
There you go.
Stadium Club, which I think is a lot of people's favorites.
Yes.
It's one of mine. I had mentioned earlier today that not only do I just love it in general, but it's one of the few for update, for example, the Mariners checklist, my PC team, nothing crazy in there. I still want some of the cards, but like it's not, the Mariners are not the hot team for by any stretch, but in Stadium Club, like assuming they have, most relevant current Mariners, which they of course will, like, I just want the whole team set. Like, I don't even need to look at the checklist. And I'm looking at it. I'm staring at it right now, as a matter of fact, because some of these inserts, I don't know what they look like yet, but I'm intrigued. and then I was curious your take on the chrome part, because I have a strong opinion on a standalone chrome for Stadium Club and the insert version, or the version that comes in regular Stadium Club. So I'm actually kind of excited. I think this is the second year in a row we haven't had a chrome Stadium Club standalone, which I personally like. But they're all still getting like the full chrome treatment this year. Is this a thumbs up or a thumbs down from you?
I mean, like I said, I haven't been super into it, so I don't have a super strong preference because I didn't know what it was like before when there was a separate set.
Gotcha.
But I do think it is a thumbs up as opposed to last year when it was only, a third of the checklist or whatever had chrome cards. I'm very glad that everyone has chrome cards this year.
Yeah.
The big question will be, what parallels do they have, and does this mean everyone has a gold minted card, everybody has a white pearl refractor? All those things we won't know for a little bit longer. Because I don't think they have the odds yet. They have the full checklist out, but they haven't released odds.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either. I've been perusing it a little bit, but yeah, I think you're correct there.
Yeah, and back to your point, the Mariners always have a stacked checklist with Griffey and Ichiro, and luckily this year the D-backs were able to snag Randy Johnson, but he's usually on the Mariners as well.
Yes. I am looking at one particular insert set, the checklist that is. I haven't seen a picture, or if I have, I didn't equate it to this, but Special Forces.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I have. I saw something today.
Now, every once in a while, an insert set sneaks its way into a flagship product or a long-term product like Stadium Club, and I don't realize, I forget or whatever, that it's actually a throwback to something. I'm pretty sure this is not, although I could be corrected. 25 names on this checklist for Special Forces, and it's basically it's superstars. And I don't even know if superstars and rookies, and a few legends. But I'm almost okay, just because it sounds cool. It might be a flop, but I'm almost okay not knowing what they look like until we start opening product. That can be fun too. But
yeah, okay. So I could describe it for you, but if you don't want to know, that's fine too.
Well, now I feel like we've teased it. You describe it for everybody else, and I'll go get a drink or something.
The audio description. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's like, it's patriotic-esque without being overtly patriotic. There's like stars kind of in a V in the background, and then there's like a ribbon around the Special Forces, tag or whatever at the bottom of the card. So just like a standard insert that's reminiscent of some of the older Stars and Stripes.
Okay, so
Independence Day parallels.
So is it, maybe like the two of them kind of mashing up. Okay, so now I can't help myself, and I'm going to just go ahead and look.
Yeah,
that is what was intriguing to me. So one of my side PCs is Joe Ryan of the Twins, and I started off it's a name match for those who don't know. But I started off just sort of basically grabbing whatever base stuff, nothing expensive, but I kind of just shotgun approach. And then I've really honed it into a few throwback, like Donruss, just because it's like reminiscent of my childhood. But mostly I'm just now focused on 2 cards every flagship, which is Independence Day and Camo.
Oh, nice.
And I'm only shy the Camo from this year. And he's only been around for three releases, but so I've got 22, 23, and then I've got Independence Day from 24, and I'm just looking for that Camo if anybody knows where one is. And I just like it. So I was kind of running under the assumption that maybe that the Special Forces might be something along that in that vein. So okay, I'm looking at it now. I gotta be honest, I'm instantly underwhelmed. It's even Griffey on here, which should
Yeah,
pop for me. But it
right.
looks like the is that the significant stats from Series
Mm,
2? Is that the one
hmm
that kind of had that?
Yeah, it has like the angular lines in the background and stuff. It was
Yeah.
I felt like it was an improvement over previous years, but there's still just something about it that doesn't really click.
Yeah, it looked like something I could design, which I'm not a designer, so that tells you
Right.
what I mean by that. But I don't know. Maybe it's like a see in person sort of situation. But
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing. I remember when I first saw 2024 flagship, I was like, this looks so weird. Like, what are they doing? But then seeing it in person, now I'm like, 2023 looks disgusting in comparison. Like,
yes,
2024 looks so good in person, and
yes,
2023 is so bland.
yep, I agree. Although I'm wondering how many years this can go on, but like in 23 with the the smaller pictures of them at the bottom there
Hmm.
made 22 look terrible.
Right.
If you go a few years before that, I think a lot of the sets looked good, but
Yeah.
um, I feel like we've made improvements for at least three in a row. But yeah, I am greatly anticipating opening hopefully a lot of Stadium Club,
Yes.
and inserts are. I don't even think that's the main gig, right? Because like the Special Forces, for example, does not scream Stadium Club other than the
Right.
logo
Yeah.
at all. The base is where it's at, and the parallels of the base. So
Exactly. That was my biggest takeaway from 2023. I didn't open any hobby products, partly because like all I saw was people posting like, look at this terrible rookie auto that is, a nobody basically. Like they just completely diluted the auto checklist, which isn't atypical for tops products these days, but it seemed like
Mhm.
especially egregious with Stadium Club that there were just all these like no name autos as your guaranteed hit. So
Yep.
I did a lot of blasters. I think I did two cases in one break, which was possibly ill advised, but it was fun. Uh, and then I did one other case on top of that one, more spread out into smaller breaks. Um, and it was just, yeah, it's really cool to see the parallels, to get like the refractor, the chrome parallels, the sepia, all the different colors and stuff. That was like better than the autos that we pulled. I think the best auto we pulled was like orange Jack Flaherty to 5.
Yeah.
That was, and then at that point, it's like any auto is a bonus because it's out of a blaster, so it's not expected.
Yep. Yep. I think the with something we touched on the last time we did this, the strong PC nature of our folks that are in our breaks. I just can't imagine a better product from that perspective, because if you're getting even base or base adjacent stuff of the team you collect anyway, like some of these images are pretty sweet, and some of our images probably from games we've been to and stuff. So
For sure.
um, and while it did come out, I think what 25 dollars higher than last year. I think
Hmm.
I don't love that concept as a whole, but
Right.
it's still a very affordable product, especially in a pick your team format or something of that nature. So
Definitely.
it's, I think, right in our wheelhouse.
100%.
Okay, so we've got Stadium Club. I know both of us probably have some combination of update and Ellen and Ginter breaks rolling. For us, this is a weird period because of this little bit of a lull this come before we get hit with probably what 4 releases in quick
Yeah.
succession. So we've already got multiple update breaks full, another one open. Ellen and Ginter is open, so we're just like poised and ready
Yeah.
ready for the fun. You are, I think you're probably in the same boat, right, with Alan and Ginter and update.
Yes, I have. Update is full, but I haven't opened Allen and Ginter yet, which I need to do. But I also need to figure out exactly when that break will happen. So it's probably this week. I might as well open it up, and I am still holding out hope for Cosmic Chrome, as unlikely as it will be now that we know it's for sure going to be EQL lottery. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see what happens on Friday if I can snag a few boxes, but not too optimistic about that.
You know, I didn't even we didn't discuss this ahead of time. It just kind of popped into my head because we kind of had to skip over it because of the all the releases coming out at once. But a product that surprised me based on checklist alone, I've only seen one in hand, but uh, Sterling was
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly, I don't know, refreshing, I guess. Bowman Sterling is not historically a great Bowman release at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually flooded. And I flirted with the idea of breaking some, but it just didn't really fit. And maybe that's a winter mixer or something. But
Right.
it's not draft, it's not main Bowman, it's not Bowman Chrome. It's sort of the in the back seat somewhere. But the checklist is pretty sweet, and you get I think it's 5 autos per box.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so I might just kind of file that one away maybe for the future. They're not going to keep value like a Bowman flagship stuff would.
Mm-hmm.
But again, back to the PC thing. If it's a guy like the one I was looking at was Lazaro Montes, which is my main prospecting guy that I chase.
Mm-hmm.
Very affordable. It's not a Bowman first, and that's fine. So like it's like a dude I
Yeah,
like to collect. So
exactly.
yeah.
I would be in a lot more trouble if they actually my main guy is Gino Groover for the D-backs, and he just had a first auto in base Bowman, and he doesn't have any other cards because
Mm,
Tommy Troy was drafted higher and went to Stanford, so he gets all the shine in the sets. So it's it's better for me in my wallet that there are not more Gino Groover cards out there, but
yep.
I wish there were. We'll see. Maybe next year he'll get some more respect.
Yeah, I love Bowman, as I've probably mentioned multiple times, but uh, Lazaro Montes, for example, he's kind of the main guy I've been going after, and I attempted a paper rainbow, but the rainbow being like starting like 50 and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now I'm kind of in the like, oh, maybe I'll just flip some of these because their values have gone up and trade into some chrome or some autos, some
Mm-hmm.
additional autos. With the idea being I'll sell a few off when he gets called up, but it's also a guy I want to keep, and hopefully we get to see in a Mariner uniform for a long time.
For
But
sure.
then it's like these mixed bag of emotions when they put out the latest top 100 list. He's top 50. I want to say like 47, which you want to see out of your prospects. I'm a fan. I want to see him do well. But then he's top 50, which means he's expensive. So my chasing and piecing is getting significantly more challenging because I'm not a guy who's going to drop a ton of money on one single card. So
For sure.
um, it's a happy and sad all at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, it's wild. I mean, I used to be in like a full dynasty fantasy baseball league where you keep your whole roster and there's a prospect draft every year and all this stuff. So I was like super into the prospecting like 10 years ago, and it's just like there's still like those blue chip guys that, are top 5 pick or whatever, but for every, guy that works out, you have the like Mark Appel, who just had a rookie card in 2023, and he was like the number one overall pick in like
Yeah.
2011 or 2012 or something like that.
Yes.
Like you, it's just there's just no way to predict who's gonna do well and who's not, and so it's a fun game for sure when you like can pick your guy and stick with them and they pan out or they don't pan out or whatever. But it's just like for every expert that watches thousands of hours of tape or whatever it is, does all
Mhm.
the research, dives in all the numbers. Like, nobody knows for sure who's gonna pan out at the major league level. Like, there's just so many factors that go into these things. So
Yep. Uh,
it's it's fun, but it is very risky for sure. If you're
yeah.
using it as if you're like using it as an investment strategy.
Yeah, and I can't imagine. Oh, and I guess I am to some degree on a very, very small scale, but I can't imagine guys that come out of the product already, top 5 or whatever, or even top 25. The amount of money you're spending on what is still an unknown entity
Yeah,
is crazy to me.
for
Um,
sure.
yeah, so it's just finding, and I think it kind of spreads it out too, because even this guy who's I don't know, probably on track for a 2026 debut. You
Hmm.
never know, of course, but. Uh, you know, if he flops, which at this point does not appear to be the case, but it's baseball and it can happen. I
Hmm.
still had a good, 3 to 4 years of just having fun watching him in the minor leagues. I got the opportunity to meet him with my family, and it's like that's a win right there. If the values
Yeah,
aren't there, it's still a win. So
for sure.
yeah. We've made it too far with me not wishing you. What I learned today was a happy PSA 1010 day. Have you seen this?
No.
I assume they've done this in years past. I'm not into the grading game a whole lot, a little bit, but uh, they're celebrating October 10th, or will be, I should say, with, I assume, some grading specials, but also it's like a grading being exchanged on, you know, card social media.
Uh-huh.
So I just figured I'd get out ahead of it. The holiday season doesn't start, on Thanksgiving. Apparently, it starts on
It
October 10th. Yes.
starts on PSA 1010 day. Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Um,
Your
I'm
present is in the mail, sir.
awesome. I cannot wait. I hope it's a PSA 10 of Kyle Lewis,
Yes,
D-backs and Mariners legend.
very, very good. I was going to say it's a base Luis Robert COVID
Yeah,
era slab. Yeah.
there we go. Yeah, I'm also not super into the grading scene. I mean, I might, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm like kind of tempted because one of the biggest factors for PSA for me is the price is just like obscene. Like, I can't
Yeah.
believe that there's, you just don't know how much you're paying when you submit it. Like, and if you submit it and then say, like, for example, let's say you submitted like a Tyler Fitzgerald card for grading in April, and then they don't get to it until June, and he's having this crazy run and his cards are going for like $500, and they're like, oh, actually it's going to cost us $100 to grade this card now, and you're just like, what
Yeah.
what like, what world does that make any sense? So
The upcharge is maddening to me. I can't stand PSA for it. I am perhaps hypocritical. I own some PSA slabs. I've only ever
yeah,
subbed
it's hard.
4 of
It's hard
them.
not to.
Yeah. But my local LCS, Big Nate's, has just partnered with SGC, which is
Hmm.
way more palatable. The turnaround time is quicker. The customer service is better. Um, and there's no upcharges.
Yeah.
And that is way more appealing to me. And then that also takes uh, the responsibility off of me as far as like worrying about the actual submission. Just drop it off
Right.
at the store. I pay barely anything over what SGC charges, so it's not like it's a huge cost. And now I'm thinking, okay, over the winter I could definitely see just a few of those. And I don't know that I would do that for PC. It would be for a flip, so I don't have a
Hmm.
lot of those to begin with. But
Yeah, I am a big fan. I mean, I just like the way that SGC looks better than PSA. Just like the black and white is so much cleaner looking. And I've done a couple submissions with them, and it's gone, super easily. The last one we did like a group submission, and it was like 20 plus cards in the thick of their Chrome sale, and it was literally like a 6-day turnaround. Like it was just
Yeah.
6 business days. It was absurd
Yes.
how fast we got him back. So definitely an SGC fan.
I am.
And yeah, that's awesome that you have that set up with your LCS.
Yeah, I am still toying, but I think I ultimately decided not to do it. But I have a Jackenzie Noel first gold to 50.
Oh dang.
And I thought, maybe that's an opportunity, and because it's a flip for me. I'm not keeping that card, but
Mm-hmm.
and they're Guardians are in the playoffs, of course, and he's on the roster. I'm like, oh, maybe the turnaround time's quick enough if they don't get bounced in the division series,
Right.
or maybe I just flip it raw right now and call it a win because it wasn't a card that I was banking on nor planning on keeping. But
Right.
I'm still kind of on the fence. But I think if I don't make up my mind in the next day or two, it's probably over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Jackenzie Noel, it's a great segue into the MLB playoffs.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw his absolute laser yesterday. Oh my God. He got Justin Henry Malloy was trying to stretch out a double. I mean, it was like at the fence, like at the corner in right field, and he just like picked it up, spun around, and just threw it like on the dot to the second baseman and gunned him down. It was sick.
I saw that highlight, did not see it live. And actually before I saw the highlight, I saw his line, and he had one at bat. And he started. And I actually still didn't circle back to see what the deal with that was, but I was like, oh boy, did he get injured? And then everything else related to recent searches was that defensive play you just mentioned. So
yeah,
that was pretty sweet. So so playoff baseball. We have I have maybe a hot take. I don't know. I hate that term, but we discussed this briefly in chat form yesterday, I think. Dodgers, Padres.
Yeah.
Already a game past the fans throwing stuff and players taunting and all this stuff is already died down just a little bit, although I suspect it's heated back up because they're playing as we speak. 6-5 Padres over the Dodgers in the 9th.
Yep.
But everyone's takeaway seemed to be, or the majority of people's takeaway seemed to be, that Dodgers fans are terrible and the poor Padres are just trying to play baseball. And obviously I'm paraphrasing takes from across our country, but I didn't see it that way. I no excuse for fans throwing things on the field, Dodgers fans or any other fan base of all of us. That's lame. Don't do it. It's stupid. But man, these Padres players just trolling and then playing the victim card when they're done trolling and get some heat for it. I just can't take it, and I'm going all in on the Dodgers. Like I said last time, I had to pick a horse, and that's my horse in that series anyway, because I don't have one of my own.
Yeah.
And then I see Tatis. I think he might still be standing at home plate. He hasn't circled the bases from his home run earlier this game. And it's maybe one of those things where if it was one of my players, I'd overlook it and think it was awesome. But when it's not, he stood there for so long. And then his antics in the outfield when they were still playing in LA, I can't come around to the Padres. What are your thoughts?
I have a natural bias growing up in San Francisco and being a Diamondbacks fan to hate the Dodgers with a fiery passion. But
fair.
I did marry a Dodgers fan, so
Oh,
I've had to, against my will, come around a little bit. And obviously, Ohtani and Betts and Freeman are just like absolute studs and fun to watch. So it's like there's a part of me that, just recoils when you see that Dodger blue, but at the same time, like I do appreciate what they do. I do, like you said, throwing things at players is completely unacceptable. I do not, I mean, obviously it's easy to say Dodgers fans are scumbags, and there's fans of literally every single team has fans that are scumbags. There are some fan bases that are bigger, some fans are more likely to be at a game, some fans are more likely to be getting drunk in the bleachers because it's cheaper to sit out there, and that's what every ballpark has, the bleacher creatures. Like,
Yes.
it's not a unique aspect of Dodgers fans. And um I don't quite agree with you about the Padres trolling. I mean, I do, I think in the past 5-10 years or whatever, we've seen this younger group of guys come into the league, and they're having more fun. They're able to express themselves more. Like, the bat flips are awesome. Like, seeing Shohei's bat flip the other day, like seeing him show that fire and just like chuck the bat down to the side was awesome. Like, I all these shows of emotion, I think, are good for the game, and it just makes it more fun to watch. And I think, it's when they're doing it, you can draw right back at them. Like, that's the beauty of having those seats where you're behind the fence and you can, talk smack to the players, but then you also have to know that that's going to fire them up a little bit too. So it's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword.
Yep. And I will admit, there's certainly room for hypocrisy with my statement, because I also thought Otani's was awesome,
Mhm.
and others. So that's just the most recent example, and couldn't stand Tatis's. And then
Yeah.
I could try to justify, well, Tatis stood there for 3 minutes, and Otani just forcefully threw a bat and then ran.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, right? We're fanatics. This is how it goes. Like, I don't have to be rational, I don't think. So.
Exactly.
Did you see the camera angle from the stands of the guy throwing back the ball that Profar handed to him?
Yeah.
That was cool to me. Like, that was a good exchange. The fan had no malicious intent, but he was also like,
Right.
"No way, I'm keeping this ball." Which, if I were him, I would have
Yeah.
kept it. I don't know why he wouldn't keep the ball, but more power
Exactly.
to him. That's his call, and I don't think that none of that by itself was the problem. I don't think Profar. I think Profar probably thought it was funny.
Yeah, he was
But of
laughing.
course,
That
it went south from there. But
Exactly. Yeah, that exchange I thought was perfect from both guys. Like, Profar came over, was just like joking with them, gave him the ball, and then the other guy just chucked it, and they're both laughing. And that exchange in itself, was great. That's what it's all about, being able
yeah,
to have those interactions. But then, yeah, it just devolved from there.
for sure. And this is will not be breaking, of course. Breaking news, that is. But the Padres just rolled them up, so it's 2-1 in that series.
Dang.
So that will be interesting to continue to watch. Did you watch any of the Mets Phillies today?
I just saw some highlights, but I wasn't able to tune in. The the best video I saw was the subway train doors opening up filled with Mets fans, and they see Grimace boarding on the subway and just start going crazy.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't catch it live either. I've actually always had a soft spot for the Mets. Maybe it's like an anti-Yankee thing, which I am.
Mm-hmm.
More recently, it's my friend in YBCC land, who is a diehard Mets fan. So,
Of
like,
course.
I'm in this series. I'm all in on the Mets, and I'm bandwagoning them. I'm not regularly a fan, but and I also really am not a big fan of the Phillies. So that's like an easy go Mets for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like we were talking about, I spent some time in New York and definitely adopted the Mets as my New York team while I was out there. So, as frustrated as I was that they rolled over for the Braves to let them into the playoffs and keep the D-backs out, I still can't help but cheer for the Mets, and appreciate what they're doing. It's just like, you look at the team and you're like, this team doesn't seem that good on paper, but they're just vibing right now and just firing on all cylinders. I mean, Lindor 100% is like NL MVP runner up. I mean, there's no way, there's people try to have the debate between him and Otani, but even with him playing defense, like he's just not even close. But
Yeah.
definitely second place for MVP. And then Alonso's bat seems like has been waking up, and freaking Jesse Winker has been going off. So when you have those guys getting hot in like the middle and the bottom of the lineup, then that's what you want to have happen in the playoffs.
I blacked out after you said Jesse Winker's name. Couldn't hit or use a glove or play the game of baseball when he was with Seattle, and abandoned us during our playoff run. And then I see him going yard for the Mets. He's the one detractor for me. If I could pretend they have a roster short one player.
Yeah.
And this is nothing personal, obviously, just another guy leaving Seattle and watching him in the postseason. So this is a practice I'm well versed at, unfortunately.
Yep. And then the Guardians and Tigers series has been a lot of fun. I mean, they're both two fun teams. I mean, the Tigers, literally a month, 2 months ago, nobody expected them to be in the playoffs. And after game one, I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. It was like 7-0, I think, game one. But then they came out swinging in game two. And they just have so many young guys, so many guys that are fun to watch. And I've been a fan of Spencer Torkelson, because if you couldn't tell by some of the names I've dropped, like, I'm a big name guy. Like, if you have a fun name or just like a baseball name, I'm automatically all in, especially if they're like a first round pick or something. So
yes,
Torkelson, great name. He was struggling in the beginning of the year, and he was down in AAA for a while. And it seemed like he was getting his groove back. So hopefully he can make some noise in the playoffs. Colt Keith is another one that just has like a ridiculous, amazing name. So always excited to see what they can do.
Yes, I like the name thing. I can totally appreciate that. The sub that I mentioned briefly, I think subbed literally 4 cards to PSA. One of them was a Spencer Torkelson rookie. And I was like, and it was kind of still Torquemania period when I did it. And of course, yeah, like you said, he's had some struggles and whatever. But to me, that's like, I guess that's the fun of cards, right? Because that card is not worth anything crazy. I would love to sell it this fall if the Tigers continue to make noise, and Torkelson specifically. But how much more fun the Tigers are when I have some type of attachment to Torkelson. And I was talking to some Tigers fans, one in particular in our Discord, and I don't know what it is about, probably just lack of on-field success recently, but the Tigers, again, are one of those teams I'm just like, yeah, come on, let's do something. I just think that'd be cool. It just, I don't know. If you ever saw the movie Tiger Town, does this ring a bell?
That rings 0 bells to me.
So you should watch it. It's probably available for free on multiple streaming platforms in my memory, and I haven't seen it for quite a while, and now I'm going to have to take myself up on my own advice. But it's kind of in the same vein as like an Angels in the Outfield or Rookie of the Year type movie. A child plays the main role, and baseball is a pivotal part of his difficult or challenging life. And it always stuck with me. So like, I just think of this movie, and I think of kids, and I think of Tiger Town, and I know enough about the team to like them, but not too much to really, whatever, except their manager. So I'm all in on, go Tigers, go Tiger Town.
Interesting. I have never heard of this movie, but now that I'm looking at it, I mean, it literally, the cover looks like it could be the cover for Angels in the Outfield. So I'm sure.
If we dove on it, actually 1983. So I guess I was going to say it might have been a ripoff, but I guess it precedes Angels in the Outfield. But 10-year-old me or 8-year-old me recommends this movie strongly. I have not viewed as an adult, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, I might just stick with Rookie of the Year. Classic.
One of these off days in between the championship series and the World Series, and you need a baseball fix, just pull that one out.
Nice. Yeah, and that's even, I mean, as much as I appreciate the Tigers, I feel like the Guardians have a very similar makeup of
yes.
they have this young core. They have guys like Stephen Kwan, and then they have Jose Ramirez, who might be the most underrated player in the league. I mean, he's literally like every season is like 30 homer minimum, 300 average, and plays third base. Like, he's just a complete stud. And I'm kicking myself. Like, a few weeks ago, I was looking at one of his Heritage red ink autos for this year, and I was like, it's probably going to go over 100, so I shouldn't focus on it. And I had a break that night, so I was like, okay, I don't need to go hard for it. And then it sold for under 100, and I was just like, God damn it, why? Why? How is he so undervalued? And he's so good, and it's not even a recent thing. It's been like 5-6 years that he's been doing this, and it's just because he plays in Cleveland.
Yeah, I think I mean I would anecdotally, I don't have statistics to back this up, but like not only is he, I think, the most underrated player in baseball, I think he's the most underrated player in baseball like for decades.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it, and I guess I'm part of the problem because I don't think of him as in the tier that he actually is. I don't know why that is. It's probably something to do with the team he plays for, but yeah, his stats are amazing. The he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, like, and we're missing it, which is sad.
Yeah.
But maybe some playoff stage will help him. I know they've been with him before, but maybe if they make a deep run or something.
Yeah, exactly. We shall see. So, yeah, I mean, there's that. And then, yeah, the last one is Yankees, or not the last. Did we? I can't remember. Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, last one is Yankees and Royals. And it's kind of, just the classic, the evil empire versus the scrappy underdogs.
Yes. Go Royals.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I mean, that is the one thing I really do appreciate about these playoffs is, like, obviously, have to root against the Yankees, but it has been a while since the Yankees have like made noise in the playoffs. So even if they do win, I'm not like too upset about it, especially with like Jazz over there has been a lot of fun to watch. Verdugo is always just like an insane person. So it's, surprisingly to myself, it's not the worst thing, but I would like to see the Royals win and see more Bobby Witt in the playoffs.
Yep, I agree. Baseball's weird. I grew up in peak, the Mariners' heyday of my childhood anyway, was very much correlated to or not correlated, but occurring at the same time as the Yankees, 90s and early 2000s dynasties. So we beat them once in one of the greater moments in our franchise history, and then basically they kicked us around for the next decade. So my Yankee hatred ran so deep that I never thought it would ever, be extinguished. But then along come the Houston Astros to supplant my number one most hated team, and then the Yankees kind of fallen off. Not that they've been terrible by any stretch, but they, weren't the what I was used to seeing. And now, with Judge and Soto, like, I actually don't hate. I mean, they're a distant second at this point to the Astros, so I don't hate them. I'm rooting for the Royals for sure, but I've definitely softened on it. And it's, as a baseball fan, how can you not want to watch Judge do Judge things? Like, it's incredible. So
exactly.
Yeah. Any parting thoughts? I think we'll wrap here shortly.
Yeah. Um, I don't think so. I feel like we covered a lot of ground, had a lot of good stuff to talk about. So, just as always, thank you for asking me to do this in the first place. I am very much enjoying it and looking forward to continue doing it.
Ah, man, right back at you. And a quick shout out to Metsy, go Mets, who is, I think, hopefully reveling in a Game 3 win. And also to Wax Moronic, who's not feeling so well, which is why it was just the two of us tonight. But both those guys are awesome, and we'll be catching them on future episodes. I appreciate it, man. It's great to talk shop.
Yeah, great to talk to you too.
All right. Have a great one.
You too.
Hey, this is John from Yellow Brick Card Club.
And this is Pierce from Pierce Breaks.
You can find us on Instagram at Yellow Brick Card Club. Get all of our links there. Come and join the Discord. Check out some breaks and chat and hang out.
You can also find me at Pierce Breaks on Instagram, on my YouTube channel, Pierce Breaks, or on Reddit at reddit.com/r/Pierce Breaks.